Welcome back to Melodic Memories of Lights Monarch. I'm Casey, and happy Groundhog's Day. Amongst, of course, Grammy week. Grammys just happened yesterday, so I'm definitely going to get into that. Not super in depth, but I am going to go over a couple awards that I was interested myself. But besides Groundhog's Day and the Grammys, I have to start this episode by saying, rest in peace, Catherine O'Hara. I didn't realize how many roles this lady had. She's an actress that unfortunately passed away recently, and she was literally the voice of a generation, for lack of a better term. And I know people might say that about anyone that passes away nowadays, but truthfully, I didn't realize how many roles that she had that mattered to me. And the biggest one being Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas. I know a lot of people know her for the mom in Home Alone, and also just, anything else under the sun. She's a very, very famous Canadian actress, and I just wanted to give my respects to her because, again, she was important in apparently a lot of the movies that I grew up watching, and I didn't even realize it, didn't even clue in. But besides that, on a little bit of a happier note, or maybe worse, depends on how you like your weather, Groundhog's Day. It is today. If you're listening to it on Monday, if you're listening to it tomorrow, then you might already know. But the little groundhog dude, Punxsutawney Phil, I believe his name is, he's seen his shadow. So that means we are going to be getting 6 more weeks of winter. That kind of sucks, but hey, living in Canada, we get that year round, baby. It's nothing new, so something I'm used to. But hope you're all doing great and enjoying the beginning of this week. And hopefully y'all enjoyed the Grammys themselves. I know that they just passed, like I said. They were yesterday as of me recording this. But before the Grammys, I actually got to go to 2 shows last week. And yes, live music shows. One was on Wednesday, the 28th of January, being The Offspring. And it was their Supercharged World Tour, with Bad Religion opening for them. Yes, I got to see a local show, finally. I've seen them before, not specifically The Offspring with Bad Religion. I have seen The Offspring once before when they played the When We Were Young festival. I know I talked about that in my last episode and in the episode where I actually went. Go check it out if you get a chance. And while you're there, subscribe, follow me, like all the things. Helps me out a ton, and you can find it at Lights Monarch on all socials. Now, the show itself, The Offspring, for 60-year-old dudes, holy shit. Might I tell you, they put on an energy-filled show. 2 60-year-old dudes. Like, I believe the singer is 60, and Noodles, the guitarist, is like 62. If you know The Offspring, you know that their songs maybe, not exactly the most deep, most emotionally fueled songs, but they're fun. Some of them definitely have their meanings here and there. Of course, I'm not going to take that away from them. But the main majority, of the show, at least the biggest thing that I can take away from their live performance was it was a fun time. They're having fun up there, even though it does seem to be a little bit of a scripted kind of show where they say very similar things, if not the same things, to every crowd every night, which is fine. I know it is entertainment at the end of the day. I get it. It doesn't have to be unique to every single show. Hell, it's not going to be unique to every single show, but there will be standout moments in every show that you go to. And with mine, I gotta say, the most distinctive moment to me, I don't even know if I can really call it a moment, but rather just a feeling of the energy that they were able to pull from this crowd. And mind you, this isn't a sold out show. This is a smaller venue, a very small hockey arena that they were playing in my local town. And yeah, they honestly killed it. I was shocked to see how much energy they were able to pull out of everyone in that room, because I didn't think they had it in them, but I myself was mistaken. They did an amazing job in their performance. I mean, it's The Offspring. If you know their music, you know what you're gonna expect, more or less. Except for one thing caught me off guard. While they were playing, they brought a piano out on stage and did one of their songs by piano, which was absolutely nuts. It was one of the ones that actually have a very emotional meaning that I personally have experienced. And again, please take all I'm saying with a grain of salt, because when I say all of their stuff, I don't fully mean it, and I will try to catch myself on that. I don't know their entire catalog. I can't speak for those deep cuts that everyone, that a true fan, truthfully, would love. So, in my perspective, I am very much a casual Offspring listener. Nothing in depth. I don't think I've ever really went out of my way to listen to them, aside from the very select few times. And that was probably when I was in high school, so almost 10 years ago, if not a little more than that, depending on what year you're talking about. So it's been a while, and for the Offspring, to see them live in a smaller show, smaller setting than the vast sea of people that were at the When We Were Young Fest in Vegas, I was so intrigued and curious to know, how are they going to pull the energy that they did from that massive stadium, or massive festival ground to this smaller arena? And they did it fantastically. Again, very emotional song with the piano that they were able to pull out. People had their lighters up, their cameras on, like the phone flashlights. It was beautiful to be a part of. So happy I was able to be a part of that. And the rest of the show, again, the energy was off of the charts for Grand Prairie. Let me tell you. If you knew the area, you'd probably understand, but just take my word for it. And Bad Religion, before I glance over them completely, they did a good show too. I can't say much upon them because, again, I don't know them like at all. I might know one song, maybe, but even while they were playing, I can't say there was anything that they played that I fully recognized. But for, again, old dudes, they didn't have as much energy, like nearly, but respect to them because they seem to be very well off and kind of set within themselves for who they are and what they're doing. So I seen one of their shirts as well, and damn, their imagery is definitely something to be looked at. If you don't know what I'm saying, then go look up Bad Religion and you'll find out real quick that their imagery might not be the safest for your, Christian valued households. It might be a little bit risque if you're from one of those, but great bands put on a great show, and I can't really say much more than that other than I had a great time. And Crystal, who was able to come with me, had a great time too. She thought the exact same thing, with the energy that they brought was just insane. And we were able to actually get a shirt, or at least I was able to get a shirt. She was able to get a different one. And that was kind of the night. It was a fun time, and I got the tickets for free from the radio station. So support your local radio, local radio stations. Listen in. If there's a concert around and you have like a rock station and there's a rock show, odds are you might be able to win tickets. So give them some support and, partake in the local events of concerts, of giveaways, all of that stuff. If they aren't scary, don't worry. They love music just as much as you do, odds are. So that's how I won the tickets. I got lucky, and I know it's very far and few between that people actually win those, but hey, it can happen, and I'm living proof of it. Aside from that, though, that was only one show, and that was probably the lesser of two, which is kind of funny to say because it was the bigger of the two shows, but leave it to Better Than Fred's. They always give me a performance that I just am left with love and absolute just euphoria after I'm done, because, oh man, that Nazzy show. I don't know if it's Nazzy or Nazzy. Regardless, they're a local band to the area, Alberta hardcore, if you will, specifically Grand Prairie, and they put on a hell of an album release show. It wasn't just them, mind you. It started out the night at like 9 o'clock, even though it was supposed to be 8 o'clock that they actually started. But at Better Than Fred's, Crystal and I pulled up and had to wait in the lobby about, I want to say, half an hour or so till we actually got let in, because apparently they were at capacity or over capacity. Regardless, didn't really look like it from the outside looking in, but once the show began, we understood, okay, now that they've let a few other people in past us, it definitely looks far more filled in here than it ever did before. So I guess to some extent they were of capacity, but I mean, it's a metal show. I was kind of shocked, especially being a bar. Like, I've never been in Better Than Fred's where they were like, yo, you can't come in because we're full. Never once ever. Like, because there were still tickets left to sell. So, like, it was so confusing of like, well, why can we still buy tickets if you say you're full? Like, it was weird, but regardless, it was just a little bit of a bump in the road, and I'm so glad that I ended up like staying in line there and waiting, because I figured we're not out in the cold, we might as well stay and wait, and if we can't get in, then we can go home and just, do something else. But luckily enough, we were able to get through, we got to see the show, and it started with Mudcrab. Yeah, Mudcrab, apparently from Edmonton, Alberta. Great band, absolutely fun. That is the main thing, fun. Drowned in Butter is literally one of their song names, so take that as you will. They even said during a breakdown, like, show me them claws. Like, they totally went in on the whole crab thing, and it was a lot of fun. It was actually quite funny too, to partake in it, because it wasn't just local Grand Prairie people. I guess some people came up from Edmonton for Mudcrab, which was hilarious. And of course, Nazzy and Devolver, which again, if you're in the hardcore scene of Alberta, you'll kind of know these names. I've definitely seen Devolver before. Can't say I've seen Nazzy, but now I have. And they were a really good time. So Mudcrab, they were really fun. Just a local band to Edmonton. Shout out to the guitarist that just yelled, yo, being in a band is fun. Start a band with your friends. It's so much fun. Like, he was just kind of saying that to people in one of the breaks of the songs, and I really appreciated that, because that's literally what I want to do. If not, again, a band, then make music by myself, which I am getting more and more motivated to do so. I attribute that to these live shows that I just seen the past couple weeks. Well, last week rather. I don't know what I'm saying, but I attribute it to that and some new music that has been coming out, and just wanting to follow more of my dreams rather than just kind of sit here. And as much as I enjoy yapping about the things I love, I would love to create. And I'm getting to it. I'm getting towards it anyways. But back to the show. Mudcrab, great. Devolver, even better. I think they were probably my favorite of the night, which is saying something, because I really enjoyed Nazzy, but with Devolver, I've seen them before, so I'm more familiar with their things. I don't really listen to them outside of the live setting, but not only do I know a couple of the dudes, I won't say I'm friends with them, but I've definitely met them before and either helped them, be it at Sunrise when I'm at work, my part-time job there, helping them find records and talking music, or just at other shows, because again, they are a part of the local scenes. So it was great to see them again, and I was actually able to pick up their vinyl, so their new record. Absolutely awesome. I haven't fully listened to it yet, but Devolver, if you look them up on Spotify, their new record should be there. I got it on vinyl and was lucky enough to get it signed right after the show was all finished. Had the little bit of courage to myself in order to do it. Thank you. Shout out to Reese. Thank you so much for giving me that confidence, because there was a Calling All Captains show that happened a while back, which I have talked about in a previous episode as well. Feel free to go and find it. But the Calling All Captains show, when I actually got to go, I wanted to get the record signed, and I was afraid. I don't know why, but I just, anxiety, nerves, I couldn't do it. So Reese was able to help me, because she is the one that went with me. She helped push me to go up there and came up with me, literally like pulled me up, and helped me over that random little stage fright fear that I had. So I've put it to good use. Thank you so much, Reese. And I was able to get another signed record, this time by Devolver. I'm excited to put that on the turntable and spin it. Very, very good. My roommates might not like it as much as I will, but hey, that's all right. Not everyone has to like everything, of course, but Devolver did a really good job. And also, they covered, I believe it was Black Sabbath. Very, very good cover. Brought a lot of energy to the crowd. And the mosh pit for Better Than Fred's, beautiful, beautiful as ever. An amazing mosh pit, an amazing circle pit. It's so fun to have a rock show at Fred's, let me tell you. Then Nazzy. I think everyone in the entire venue really got pumped up for them. Devolver and Nazzy, I think, are on kind of similar levels. It's just Nazzy had a new album out, which is why it was their album release show. And for good reason, they put on a really good show. And turns out the singer is the ex-singer of Arrival of Autumn, which is another local band of the scene that apparently broke up a long time ago. And I guess I'm just out of the loop. Had no idea until I seen him up on stage. And my friend Nikki, shout out to her. She's, again, a part of the local scene. Not an artist, but a tattoo artist. An amazing one at that. I actually have tattoos from her. She does an amazing job. But that's besides the point. Nikki, if you need a tattoo, go find Nikki in Grand Prairie. She does a great job. But the band itself, she told me that apparently Arrival of Autumn broke up. I had no idea. And then I seen the singer on stage. It's like, oh, cool. Gotcha. But I was able to get a shirt from them after their set as well. And got to tell the entire, each three bands, entire members there, had a great job, great set, great show, and was able to talk a little bit, not a whole bunch, because again, everyone seemed pretty busy. It was really loud. My ears were ringing, and maybe still are to some extent, but definitely not ringing as much as my shoulders and muscles are aching. Yes, aching. I am getting old. Extremely old. I feel older than I truthfully am, but oh well. It happens. I don't think I've ever felt this sore after a show, especially for it being a couple days after, just muscle tensed. Very weird to notice one getting older in that sense, in the physical sense. But the show at Fred's was a great time. I can't wait to eventually see them all again. I would love to try to find a way to reach out to them and talk more about their music, because again, local scene would love to help them out. If anyone would be interested in hearing about these bands, let me know. Go give them some listens on Spotify or YouTube, whatever you can find them on, and let me know your thoughts. Again, at Lights Monarch or in the comments of this, I would love to know. And while you're down there, leave a like. It helps a ton. So aside from all the shows that were, inspiration to me and absolutely fucking fun, I had something else come out on Friday before the Better Than Fred show that, yes, more depressing, but still just as inspirational. Noah Kahan. I've talked about him before, not a whole ton before, but from what I have talked about him, those that know, I'm a very big fan, and I fell in love with his stuff from Stick Season. I was able to really get into everything that was, get lost in that era, the emotion that this guy, this fucking man is able to bring out of me personally is insane. I don't know how he's able to tear away every wall that I have built up, but he does with his music, and I gotta say it's unlike anything. I can't say unlike any other band I've ever heard, because again, a lot of bands that I love mean a lot to me, and this man, Noah Kahan, his song The Great Divide, was able to pull down every wall, just like Stick Season was. And I don't even know exactly where to begin with the new song he released, because it is everything I could have hoped a follow-up to Stick Season to be. I don't really have any hopes. I didn't really have any expectations. I wasn't, wanting him to conform into one small little box. But The Great Divide, title track, mind you, the album also got announced, comes out April 24th of 2026. So literally the week after my birthday, pretty much. Insane. But that's, again, besides the point. The song, The Great Divide, the title track, it's incredibly emotional. it actually just, well, hell, I'll read what I said on Twitter. I said I listened a lot later than I had planned, but I must say I was unprepared. Even with hearing the snippets and having deeply loved the Stick Season album for all it was, I should have expected to cry. The emotions and nerves within me he's able to hit seems endless. And again, it just goes to say, his music speaks to me in a way that not every single song or every single artist can. And hell, not every single artist, but very select few can hit me in ways that his music can. And it's wild because most of the artists that I have, that I enjoy, that I love, that are able to affect me in such a deep way are ones that I were listening to and was able to find when I was a teenager or from childhood. And with Noah Kahan, I didn't find him until Stick Season. And when when I found him, it was already like 2023, if not 2024. Like, it was recent. And I still honestly kick myself for not finding him earlier, because I know I would have fallen in love with his earlier albums, and especially if they were something like Stick Season. And I'm going to give a warning here. I have not at all listened to anything in Noah Kahan's discography except for Stick Season and his Live from Fenway Park. I have a couple of his records on vinyl that I want to listen to. I believe Busy Head and Cape Elizabeth, which I think is just an EP. I don't believe I have any others. I might have the one he released before Stick Season. I believe it's called I Am Here, or I Was, something like that. Blue cover, and it's like a painting. I believe I have those, and obviously Stick Season on vinyl. But the reason I haven't went back to any of his previous records, or albums rather, is because I've wanted to listen to them on vinyl, and that's kind of my plan. It's just I haven't had a good moment to fully sit down and binge, but now that he's got a new record on the way, I feel like what better time than now to do so I can actually properly love love his music instead of feeling internally like a fake fan because I don't know all of it, and that's a part of the reason why, like, I haven't fully dived into everything to do with him, because I don't know how anymore. I guess I kind of disconnected from that lifestyle as a teenager of just engrossing everything I am into these bands and letting myself be devoured by it. And I guess it's just because maybe I'm an adult now and I have adult things to worry about and I don't have the time. But he is an artist that I just can't help but get emotional towards, and especially this new Great Divide song, it brings up a lot within me. Some memories of people in my past, specifically one person that is no longer in my life, and I constantly wonder how he is, and it fits. A lot of the lyricism, not to a T, of course, but a lot of it, it fits and makes me feel, and just honestly sob. I was actually watching the Grammys, and his music video was premiered, and yeah, during that commercial break, I sobbed very, very hard, and unfortunately, the the sobbing has not stopped. I listened to it more today and cried some more. So if anyone needs a good cry, hell, Noah Kahan's around. Go listen to his music, and if you need help, go find somewhere to reach out, because believe me, it isn't something you have to deal with alone. But again, Noah Kahan makes amazing music. His new song, The Great Divide, is out now, with his album coming up in April 24th to be exact. And he described it himself as depression with electric guitar. So what better than that, right? He said there was still going to be some raw and vulnerable tracks, of course, but it is going to be a little bit more rock and roll, a bit more live setting kind of music. So awesome to hear. And on top of that, he announced his tour. Where I mentioned the Grammy thing, he showed off his tour and where he's going to be going for the Great Divide tour with Gigi Perez. And unfortunately, there are no Canadian dates, at least none near me. I believe there's Montreal, If not Montreal, then Toronto and Vancouver. He's playing stadiums, so like baseball stadiums, baseball fields. So obviously he could have came to Edmonton, but didn't. We have the Commonwealth. I know it's a football field, but still, I mean, it's big enough, right? But besides the point, I don't want to get into that. I'm just going to be accepting of the fact that he didn't come. It's okay. Fingers crossed that he comes along. Hopefully soon. Like next leg, please. I know a lot of fans of his are Canadian. And, I mean, at least from what I've seen, I can't speak for everyone, but from what I've seen online, a lot of people were in those comments saying, hey, what about Canada? Like, you have a couple dates here, but Canada loves you. Like, what the hell kind of thing. Not necessarily in a mad or angry way, but in more of like a concerned, hey, please, we want you to come here, please. And I know it's not on Noah Kahan. I understand that. He doesn't fully get to choose where he goes, but man, fingers crossed he's able to come here, back to Edmonton or somewhere close enough to where I can be like, yo, I'm going, because I missed out on the Stick Season tour, which I still, to this day, kick myself about every time I think about it, because I was in Edmonton the day he played for like literally no specific reason. I believe I picked up Crystal because she was visiting me that day. Like she flew in that morning or something, and we were there. Like I could have went. I had every means to go. The ticket, yes, was ridiculously priced because of resale, what have you, because again, it was completely sold out, but I could have went, you know? I could have went and bawled my eyes out to these songs that meant so much to me, but now they mean even more to me with more time that has passed and more things I've been through in my life. And I hope that one day I get to scream out some of those songs live with not only him, but everyone in that fucking stadium. And speaking of tours that I don't get to go to, another one was announced last week, and that is Black Veil Brides, their North American tour 2026. They are going on tour this year in North America. Not all across the world yet. They did say they are going to be announcing more dates soon, but as of now, we've got a North American tour. Very little Canadian dates once again, but that's okay. It happens. I'm going to take it as it is. But this time around, they are touring with From Ashes to New, TX2, and December Falls. I knew TX2 would be one of them, but I had no idea From Ashes to New would be on there. And specifically, as December Falls. Like, what? I had no idea. One, I didn't know that their music had, maybe it hasn't, but I didn't know that their music had like changed to match the tone of what Black Veil is. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it is still kind of that pop punk-esque sound, very Paramore-esque, but who knows? I mean, awesome that they're there. No disrespect, please believe me. I like them from what I've heard of them. I like them. And I actually have their first ever, or maybe not first ever, but one of their EPs is something about the stars falling. Can't remember the name off the top of my head because it's a long one, but it was on their Facebook, I believe, is where I found it, because it's signed. It was free. All I had to do was pay the shipping. And yeah, I enjoy doing that from time to time because it's a way to find new music and support small independent artists. And granted, I don't know if they were independent necessarily, but they were a very small artist at the time. And now that they're bigger, it's kind of cool to have because I enjoy the music on it. But very interesting to see them. TX2, I kind of knew that they were in since they did the song, The End of Us, with Black Veil. Even though, yes, I know it was just Andy Black, but still was with them all the same. And I mean, From Ashes to New, awesome. They've got a new album coming out actually very soon called Reflections. Comes out April 16th. Their new single just dropped too. That one's cool. I've never seen From Ashes to New, and I mean, I still won't be able to, I guess, because they're not coming near me. Which, yes, I can't help but be salty. Please cut me some slack. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be excited for everyone else because Black Veil is a wicked, wicked band to see live. Obviously, I'm biased. They're one of my favorites, but I can at least feel solace in knowing that I was able to help someone out on Twitter. Shout out to them that they were able to find tickets and buy tickets, the VIP specifically, as soon as it came out, because I was able to help them on Twitter by giving them the link and giving them the pre-sale code alongside a couple other people. Chris, I know you were there. You were in that Twitter thread. And we were able to help them get some tickets and find out how to, rather. And love the community. Black Veil, the BVB Army, one of the best fan bases to be a part of. I've been a part of it forever, so at least what feels like forever. So it's awesome to be able to help out a fellow member of the fan club, if you will, and just help them see Black Veil for the very first time, because I can relate. I relate to the feeling of being able to see them for the first time, and just the pure excitement, and just like, holy shit, I'm gonna be able to see them live and meet them. The VIP! Like, yes, I know it might not be necessarily worth it to some people to get VIP to see artists, but man, when they're your favorite, and not only in Black Veil's case, but being some of the best dudes that can possibly be, like, it's worth it. At least once, it's worth it. Now, besides that, I mentioned From Ashes to New record on the way, of course, let alone Black Veil's new record, but we haven't heard anything new about that yet. I know, big sad, but at least we have Noah Kahan's record to look forward to, and From Ashes to New. And of course, TX2. That's probably like the newest album that's going to be coming out right around the corner. It comes out February 13th. Literally the day before Valentine's Day. What better Valentine's Day gift can you possibly get than some fucking rock and roll music? And TX2 to show us what this era is going to be. And for it to be, I believe, their very first proper album is actually very exciting. And I'm curious to hear how it's going to sound from start to finish. And that, again, comes out February 13th, called The End of Us and Era. They are a band that I haven't talked much about, but Era, the band, they released a new song called Further Eden, which came out just on Friday, I believe. If not Friday, then Thursday. One I very much enjoyed. I, again, don't know much about Era, like, at all, but from what I do know, they are very heavy while still having a bit of a funk to them, if that makes sense. You definitely hear it in this new Further Eden song, but I really like it. I was able to see them a couple times live, and each time I've seen them, they killed it. They're way heavier live than anything I've heard on their record, but I haven't heard a full record of theirs yet, so maybe I'm just missing out. But I know that they can be absolutely visceral in moments, and also very funky and light in others. So they're a very versatile metalcore act, and I'm very excited for this new album that they got on the way. It's called Silence Outlives the Earth, comes out March 6th. Very, very exciting, and I'm curious to know where it's going to bring them, where it's going to take them, because again, I've been able to see them twice live, but if I'm able to see them a third time and actually know an album behind their performance, I feel like it'll be a lot more enjoyable, and not even more enjoyable, but more memorable than they already are. Because when they put on a performance, it's something that sticks with you. They are visceral and absolutely heavy. So very excited for everything to do with Era. It'll be my first Era with Era. So hell yeah on that one. And of course, I can't go without mentioning the new Motionless in White song, Afraid of the Dark. That came out. They've got a new album on the way and a tour announcement tomorrow. So if you're listening to this and it is February 3rd, tour information, at least for what I assume to be a North American tour, should be out now. So go check it out if you like Motionless in White. Now, something I wanted to touch on before I move on to the Grammys and what I kind of took from them and some highlights here. I need to send my thoughts. I'm talking like somebody died. Nobody died in this case, but it is still very heartbreaking all the same, because actually, no, sorry, my bad. Somebody did die. I don't know who or what his name was, but may he rest in peace, because that is how this certain thing I'm about to talk about got leaked. Now, without beating around the bush any more than I already have, My Chemical Romance. They are currently on tour. Long live the Black Parade. They've been very cryptic, building more lore. Seems like they might be on the verge of releasing something new. MCR5, yeah, it might be real. But literally just on this past weekend, The Paper Kingdom. It was the album that was supposed to follow Danger Days. That never seen the light of day. The past MCR5, if you will. The album that they gave up on. It was leaked in full. And it's heartbreaking because they took it off of that dead man's computer and shared it with the internet. You know how dirty that fucking feels? And how just grossly wrong that feels? I don't care that people are necessarily listening to it and sharing it around. I mean, free will, each to your own, but doesn't the precedent, okay, how do I even put this into words? Doesn't it feel wrong to just okay, it's one thing for it to be a leak and that being wrong on its own, to want to share that with the community and, leak something that the band didn't want to exist in the first place, or maybe didn't want you to hear it in this way in the first place. That on its own is bad. But then for it to be the circumstance of being taken off of a dead man's computer. And I might be wrong in saying this, but I think it was Bob Breyer, the ex-drummer, the one that did pass away, the drummer from the Black Parade. It might have been his computer. Again, I don't want to give a for certain word because I don't know who it was. I just was picking up pieces of what I was reading off of Twitter and Reddit. Absolutely mind-boggling that it was leaked. And I guess I'm just kind of talking about it right now because I myself am disgusted by it. Not the music, mind you. I haven't heard any of the leaks, and I'm not going to. I am somebody that doesn't support leaks no matter what it is. If it was leaked, fuck you for sharing it. That's my thought. That's my opinion, and I'm allowed to have that. Doesn't have to be the same as everyone's, I understand, but that's how I view it. And when it comes to MCR and the Paper Kingdom, that is something that is very, very, very intriguing. Excuse me? Yeah, I really want to listen to it. I really want to hear it. I want to know what the fuck the Paper Kingdom is. But not this way. No way in hell, not this way. Hopefully that when the eventual MCR5, if it does ever come to be, especially with how much more cryptic MCR has been since starting the second leg of the Long Live the Black Parade tour, I mean, hopefully we get to hear some of these songs, if not the entire thing, repurposed, released properly, whatever it is, but down the line. And properly, too. Not in a leak, not in this fucked up way. But I had to get my 2 cents on that. I had to let it out because it's something that has been bothering me since I seen that it was leaked. So just had to put that out there. Hopefully anyone listening, if you see it being shared around or leaked, report it. Try to get it off the internet. Try to erase it. I know there's no way to do so, fully, but it would mean a lot to me if you tried. So aside from that, the Grammys. One disappointing thing into another. Let's fucking go. The Grammys. They're always, I don't know exactly how I should put it. They're never fun. They're never extremely fun. They're never extremely important. But they're also not exactly a complete waste of time. Just a slight bit. Now, the reason I say this is because the Grammys, whenever I watch them, it always seems to be a bit of a political stunt, as well as just artists that I don't fully understand winning awards for, things that I don't believe they necessarily should. Not all the time, mind you, not all the time, but 9 times out of 10, usually not the most entertaining night for me. I enjoy seeing some of the performances from artists I do enjoy, but the stuff that is televised, it takes a long time to get through. A lot of the artists that do perform are pop acts or hip hop acts or Latin acts or whatever, what have you, that I don't particularly enjoy. All of the rock and metal kind of stuff, if there is any, is always in the pre-show, never televised. This year it was on YouTube, and I had no idea until like an hour before the proper ceremony started. So, sucks to be me. I missed out on seeing Hayley Williams get snubbed. I missed out on Sleep Token losing their award to Turnstile. I missed out on Spirit Box's wicked fucking performance of Soft Spine. If you haven't heard that or seen anything about it and you like Spirit Box and you love metal, go give that a check. Like, holy shit. I wish that was televised so much. Like, just imagine if they opened the show with that on TV instead of that Apt song or APT with Rose and Bruno Mars. That would have been perfect. But, oh well, missed opportunity. It's fine. But as I mentioned, Hayley Williams unfortunately was snubbed completely. She won nothing. Zero awards for her. Obviously, Sleep Token didn't win. They won kind of, but their actual nomination, they lost out. The band member 2 from Sleep Token, did win a Grammy with Youngblood for Changes, which is awesome. I will have to say, absolutely awesome that Youngblood has won his first ever Grammy. And for it to be the song that he covered from the back to the beginning performance, beautiful. Like, not only was that song beautiful, for them to cover it rather, and then release it on streaming with the proceeds going to what Ozzy suffered from, like that alone is just authentically beautiful. And then for him to win a Grammy for it is just full circle. Like, you deserved this, man. And in a matter of like, I mean, I don't know if he views it this way, but I kind of thought of it like, I guess that's Ozzy's way of being like, not only did he leave him with the cross and the blessing, but here's your first award, man. You know, as Ozzy, like, it's fitting, you know. I might be rambling and not know the right words to say, but it is so fitting for the thought of it to be an Ozzy song, a Black Sabbath song, and he won an award for it, a Grammy, one of the most prestigious awards in all of music, even if some people don't really care about them, right? Like, that alone was awesome. And then his acceptance speech was just beautiful. I think that was probably the highlight, and I didn't even get to fucking see it because it wasn't televised, but absolutely wicked. And of course, Lady Gaga winning her Grammy for pop album. Fuck yes. Deserved. Mayhem deserved it, damn it. She did an amazing job on winning that. Not even to mention her performance, Abracadabra. Like, she did some kind of rock version, people are calling it. I was very impressed by that. Even though it was way scaled down from her performances in the past, it was still so impactful and powerful. Lady Gaga, what a woman she is. Also, props to Kendrick Lamar on his win. He's like the most Grammy awarded rapper of all time now. He passed Jay-Z, won every category in rap that he was nominated for, which is insane. Obviously, Kendrick, a fucking legend, which cementing it even further with the Grammy night he had. And to get an award from Cher is, I mean, gotta be cool, right? And I guess I have to shout out also just the Post Malone, Chad Smith, Slash, I believe there was another guy, I'm blanking on the name, but they did a performance for Ozzy, a celebration of his life in this performance, and it was very good. Posty, I still will say this all the way back from when you did a song with Ozzy. Why didn't you ever try hard rock? Release the rock album, buddy. But besides the point, it was a good show for what it was. I don't really have a lot to say about it, though. I know in prior years I went over, everything to do with it, and, was getting excited, told you who won everything here and there, but I just don't really care to anymore. And I guess it's just because my artists don't have the artists that I love, rather. Granted, some were there this year, but all of the artists that I enjoy to a full extent, they don't usually get recognized in these award shows. And that's fine. I mean, they don't need to be recognized, but at the same time, I would wish there was more representation and that it wasn't such a politically filled kind of show to be like, hey, you know, I hate to say it like this because, yes, certain things do need to be spoken out upon. And I totally understand that what's going on down in the United States, I am not currently there, but I am aware of what's going on down there, let alone things across the world and all this. And yes, these things need to be talked about, just the way that they all have, from Billie Eilish to, because I know she won an award, to who else mentioned it? Lady Gaga, whoever else. They all, you know, they all either had a pin on or said something about, be it ICE or the state of the world or what have you. Why does it have to feel so fake? I love that they're speaking out about it, but why does it have to feel so fake in front of the camera? You know, like, oh, if I don't say something, my fan base is going to be mad, or I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way. I'm glad it's being done because it needs to be done. Something needs to be said, but I just deep down hope that it's not for the wrong reason and that they actually give a shit. And it's hard to tell, not with every artist, mind you, not with every fucking artist. Let me make that clear. But with some of them, it's like, all right, I don't know. But besides the point, the Grammys happened. If you want to know who won everything, go check out the website there. I mentioned the ones that mattered to me. I know I didn't mention a whole lot because honestly, not a whole lot mattered to me. I enjoyed the show for what it was, and that's kind of all I have to take from it. And obviously there was a lot that went on in the past week that I'm definitely, like, most certainly glancing over. And maybe there's even some stuff that I mentioned and talked about now that I'm glancing over. So if there's anything that I missed, be it from the Grammys or anything in between the week that matters to you, please let me know at Lights Monarch or in the comments below. I would love to hear it. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you for discovering the music within.